Hello again. Now with me is Professor Dr. Marc Buckley. In 2015, he wrote the manifesto of the SDGs. He's also an economist, futurist, and global citizen. Hello, Mr. Buckley.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for having me.
Marc, we are here at the UN headquarters, New York. You are a part of the delegation, a delegate of the Global Society Delegation. It's an honor to meet you. Please tell me, Marc, what Global Society means to you.
Yeah, so we are here in New York City at the United Nations headquarters. We're at the UN Summit of the Future, which is a wonderful event about the future. It's hosted by the youth, and we're actually in the SDG Media Center on the campus, and it's a beautiful campus, a beautiful, peaceful garden, and you're absolutely right. I am a global citizen, and I'm also here representing the Global Society as a delegate, because the Global Society is an official stakeholder of the United Nations General Assembly and the Summit of the Future. And so we're here representing the Global Society Delegation and making sure every human being on Earth voice is heard here at the United Nations, to make sure it's not just countries, it's not just cultures, it's not just division between race, gender, language. It's every human being on Earth that we're representing.
Okay. You're one of the men who think much further away, so tell me about the goals after 2013. I heard about that you be one of the men who is thinking more into the future than other ones.
Yeah, so you're right. I wrote a manifesto for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and they are just the next step on a better future, a better development, a more sustainable future, meaning better materials, better processes, more renewables, more inclusivity for everyone, to raise the bar and say we'll never let humanity get below a certain level ever again. And in order to do that, I did that as a futurist, thinking, okay, well before 2050, what do the goals and what does that development evolutionary process need to look like to December 31st, 2030. And that's how the SDG process went in the manifesto. But just like before the Sustainable Development Goals, there were the Millennium Development Goals, there will obviously be other goals after the SDGs. And that process started in Songdo, Korea with the United Nations UNFCCC Secretariat. And it was started in 2019, and it's already been turned over to all interagencies of the United Nations, and it's under the program Resilience Frontiers, but it's been turned over to all the interagencies of the United Nations, and will be the Resilient Development Goals. My hope is that we hopefully leapfrog that even further to the Regenerative Development Goals. But yes, that's my role as a futurist, is to think way in the future, how we evolve and how we can use foresight and tools and science and math and systems dynamic modeling and scenarios to think, where do we need to be in the future? How will our planet evolve? How much climate change will we have? How much population growth? Where are we on our planetary boundaries? And what steps do we need to take to make sure that everyone, all intergenerationals, 8 generations and beyond, make it to that future, and that it's a bright future, not a dystopian future.
Okay, so at the end we talk about an economic model.
It is an economic model, but it's not the economic model that we might be used to, capitalism or GDP or anything like that. It's an ecological economic model.
Okay.
And so the Sustainable Development Goals are an ecological economic model. And most people think, oh, I thought they were a Klaus Schwab conspiracy theory. I thought they were something weird or, New World Order. No, they're just the basic needs and rights that every one of us need. Clean air, water, sanitation, infrastructure, good schooling, equality, housing, infrastructure, food, to not be poor, not to have to worry about the basics, and that our infrastructure keeps pace at a living pace to the way our world is evolving, good, bad, and ugly, that we're always prepared and that evolution process continues. And so really what sustainable development means is just better ways and practices of developing our world to evolve into the future. Better materials, more circular economy, more donut economics, more cradle-to-cradle processes, more leads, breams, and standards that kind of raise the bar. Say, we don't want to live on fossil fuels, we don't want to live with a lot of chemicals and pollution and food deserts, and we want to have a green, clean air, clean water, renewable energy that regenerates and restores and heals humanity.
Okay. And what, please, you can tell me about the goals of the Global Society Delegation?
Well, the Global Society Delegation is really has a few pillar goals, but the main goal is for all humanity, that we just hold to the core of what humanity needs, and that we make sure that everybody's voice is at the table and everybody's basic needs are covered, and that everybody has a seat at the table, that nobody's excluded, so that you could all be here experiencing this and have that right, that nobody's divided by nations, borders, cultures, or divisions, that we're all one global society.
Okay. Marc, thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate it.
This was Martin Copony for Global Society News.